Viola is an American video artist known for his emotionally charged and absorbing installations, which often deal with life, death, and spirituality. Interestingly, the artistic vision of Viola himself is tied to an experience he had during his childhood. When he was 6 years old, he almost drowned in a lake. Surprisingly, he did not feel any trace of fear, but instead described the situation as very peaceful, almost spiritual. It left a mark on him for life and influenced his work interest in water as a symbol to be used in his work.
Deluge is one of the most well-known work by Viola. In the Deluge, we are presented with a very normal, very quiet scene people basically just doing about their day-to-day business. Then, in an instant, a wall of water comes crashing down into the scene. The deluge, the great flood of water, sweeps over everything, taking with it the people and the entire surroundings. It's really like watching life being stopped in an instant. You couldn't look away from the image in slow motion with those intense sounds. Basically, Viola wants his viewers to confront this unstoppable force of nature head on.
What did he mean by the deluge? Exactly. And in the deluge, he doesn't use flood as an actual physical event. It's more of an evocation of those life moments that overwhelm us. You know, those kind of times when suddenly everything changes in our life, unexpected loss happens, or a dramatic shift that happens in our life very suddenly. When it's like sweeping you away and you're resisting or going with the flow. Here, Viola uses water for its double meaning of destroying and rebirth. He is somehow asking, how do we survive these particular times? Is it by letting go? No. By adapting or fighting to stay afloat?
What is more interesting though is how his artistic inspiration comes from both Eastern and Western spirituality. He went on to study Zen Buddhism, Christian mysticism, Islamic Sufism, all whose themes of enlightenment, rebirth, and human vulnerabilities show up in his work. His work often feels meditative, like inviting viewers into this crisis and safe space and looking inwards. It is not just the tragedy of loss that the deluge is about, but it is also about the transformative process inside these moments. He's suggesting that even in destruction, there is a chance of renewal and self discovery.
Well, the Deluge ultimately seems to be a message about resilience and rebirth. He says very often that he makes the kind of art touching upon the threshold of human experience, which means those turning points in our lives that can have important effect. With Deluge, he's showing chaos, but from this chaos, we do emerge differently. Each characters in the scene reacts differently. This symbolizes several of the human response life upheavals. Yes, the water is overwhelming, it washes everything clean too, suggesting maybe a decent possibility to start anew. He creates work regarding finding meaning in those moments of life that are intense and seeing the beauty within the constant cycle of life.